Okay, well, in today's video, I want to show you some work I'm doing on this 2014 Matt Kenseth Gamestop Evolve paint scheme. So this is a custom request for a super rare Evolve Gamestop. So the car is a black car, and it fades on the back end to a gray. And here's a side decal there. So unfortunately, the back decals for the trunk and the rear bumper don't come with any gray coloring. The decal set from Pattos just comes with the decals. As you can see, I've already cut them out. These are the ones for the back side, and then for the front. I think this is for the trunk here. So what are we to do? All right, I'll show you here some pictures that I have on my laptop. So one of the crazy things I'll do from time to time is I will watch the race on YouTube, and then I will do some screenshots of when Matt's car comes up in different views. This particular view is a view from the Napa car on the backside of Matt's car, and if you can see, there's a pound. Let me get the angle right without the glare. 4V1 in red. That's on the back underneath GameStop and above the Toyota. Okay, and of course the whole back end is gray, and the spoiler's black. So if I go to the next picture, you can see here it's all gray here, and the decal set's correct, how it goes from black to gray, but yeah. And then here you can see the trunk is gray with the Evolve logo across it. And that's, I think that's actually a picture. When I watched the race back in 2014, I paused it and took a picture with my camera of the car. Yeah, I'm kind of crazy when it comes to this. Here's another one where I took a picture of the TV that I was watching when Matt's car threw up there. But they're great for referencing some of these paint schemes that are just obscure, that Matt drove, that you just don't see on the internet much at all. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going for right there. So what I did was I tried my best. I'm going to just set the camera here now. I tried my best to match that paint that's on the back end of this decal. But unfortunately it's not a perfect match. If I can get that. It's not a perfect match. It's just going to have to do, though. So one other thing the decal set was incorrect on was this is what it shows for the trunk. It's got a little tiny Evolve logo. Actually, two of them. No, actually that's the Evolve logo, which is from the hood, where it says EVOL with the red background. Sorry, EVOL with the red background, the V, and then E, and then this. It's just a weird logo. But that's not correct. Remember, it had a pound 4V1. So I'm going to cut that off. And so I just have the GameStop there. And this decal I don't think I'm going to use because it's not the correct one. What I have done in the past, very rarely, is I have bought some decal, water slide decal paper, and I've printed my own decals. Just putting them in a PowerPoint file and printing them off. And as you can see, I did this with some Coca-Cola Life cars, and then there were some propane trucks that I was doing, and some license plates over here. But here is where I put in the Evolve and pound for EV1. So I spelled it wrong. And I did different sizes because I wasn't sure exactly how it would line up on the car, but I want this big size. So I'm going to cut that out and use that. And it was just printed with a laser printer, actually a color laser printer at work. And yeah, worked out pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's definitely going to be more like the car that was driven on the track than if I went with the decal set that I got from Pattos. So that's that. Now, I'm going to trim off the E, because I wasn't sure if it was V or E. V. And as I just confirmed, it's actually just pound for V 1. So I'm getting rid of the E. And we'll put this on. We'll do the back side. So I got the pound for, and again, probably the font's probably not the same, but whatever. So I'm going to do some decals here for you on this set, and that's just the struggle. Most of the decal sets from Pattos are what was driven on the track, or extremely close to it. Every once in a while, I don't think he makes them himself. I think he gets them from people. The decal set is not right, and so what I've tried to do from time to time is improvise, and you know what? I just noticed the Toyota. Let me just check real quick. Go back to my pictures. I'm going to leave the camera there. But the Toyota on the back, yeah, it's black. It's black, not white. The decal set came with white, and it's actually black. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to check and see if I have a black one from another decal set. And if I do, I'll use that one. And let's put this up there too. Okay, so let's see my decals. So I have a list of not a list, but I have a bunch of decals that I've had from other cars. And so let me see. I'll show you what I got here. It's going to be a little wobbly as I kind of hold this while I look through my folder. So I've got all these decals. And there's my Toyota. But this is for a cup car. I mean, the decal set's for a cup car. If I want to see if I have one for a nationwide car, because it might be a little bit more of the right size. If I don't find one, I don't find one, and I'll go with it. I have a lot of these Dollar General decals That actually looks pretty close right there. I'm just going to set that aside for now, in case I don't find one for one of his nationwide cars. So I actually have a folder here of all, these are all the Kenseth decals that I have extras of. And, yeah. So here's one that has a white, the Resers. I think. Yeah. I don't see it. So I'm gonna, there's some more back here, but I'm gonna put this white Toyota in here. These are all my spares again. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this Toyota for the backside. I'll put the camera back in place. Put my spare decals away. And you know, that's just my way of doing it. I don't throw away decals that are extra. At least it's in very rare cases, unless I have a bunch of them. I don't throw away extra decals. I put them in these little folders, and I keep them for future use, just like we did. Okay. All right, and we'll trim this out. We'll get this in the water. And I don't know why I didn't put this one down. I should put that one in the water too. Yeah, I just love doing Matt Kenseth schemes. I know some of you are all looking for other drivers, but I don't know. You know, he's my favorite driver, and it's funny when I do his paint schemes. I kind of remember the race and how he did and all that. It was funny. I remember when he signed up with Joe Gibbs in 2013. I was so excited because I knew he was going to be in top-notch equipment with top-notch sponsors. And then I found out he was going to be racing in the Xfinity series, or Xfinity, the Nationwide series in 2013 and 2014. But in 2013 it said, oh yeah, he's going to be sponsored by Resers and GameStop. And I'm like, oh crap, GameStop. GameStop has all those crazy one-off paint schemes. And so he drove 10 races with GameStop. And each paint scheme was different. Remember when Logano was doing that? And I was like, oh my gosh. So what that meant was I was going to be making a bunch of GameStop cars with all these different crazy paint schemes with these different video games on them. And unfortunately, based upon I think there's like two of the paint schemes that Pattos doesn't offer. I think it's two, might be three. For 2013 and 2014, when he drove those 2 years GameStop cars, 20 different GameStop cars. And lo and behold, I think Pattos got decals for, like I said, for all of them but like 2 or 3. Of course, Lionel made a few of them. They made the Batman, Arkham, which actually I think it's kind of funny when I watched that race. I said, wow, why is he driving it's a light blue paint scheme? And you know, it's exactly what it was. It was light blue. If you look at the pictures of the car and on the race and everything, it's light blue. But Lionel, when they made the car and they sold it, it's gray. And I'm like, what? That's not gray. car's not gray, it's light blue. Look at it. So, whatever, they make the decision to make those die casts months in advance, and they go with what they have. And sometimes the paint scheme changes by the time they get the race going, and the die-cast makers are putting together a car it's not precisely what he drove. So, oh well, but yeah, these GameStop cars are very interesting. So this Evolve one goes across the back here. And I guess that's not going to look very good. So let me put this on. I'm going to look at the picture real quick because I think it's centered. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm trying to get that to line up on the trunk there. And I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of on the back edge of the trunk. It's not right. Doesn't look like it's perfectly centered in the middle. So I mean, so that's probably pretty good. I do have to paint the spoiler black yet, but yeah, it's going to be on that raised surface right there. The E. But it is what it is. It's hard for me to film when I'm decaling because I really need both hands, and the camera setup is not the best, I know. I apologize for that. But that's what it's going to look like. It's pretty good. I want to do this back here. I like to start with the lights because the lights are kind of a good reference point. Can't really do much with the lights. The lights are where they are, and that's where they go. I mean, alright, so I'm going to hold like this. See if I can get a good... They really tuck right up underneath there. And when you have a lot of water in there, you kind of have to get the water out for it to slide in properly. Yeah, probably should have painted the spoiler before I did this, but it'll be fine. I'll just make sure I put sealer on it because it butts right up against it. And definitely run the risk of getting paint on the decal. Okay, let's put this piece on next. This is like the exhaust. Try to get that as close to center as possible. Okay, and then we have the Toyota. The Toyota logo's a little big compared to what was actually on the car. But again, you know, you just, it's hard to get it exactly. I'm going to go back to the pictures here, to the back side of that thing, make sure I get all the logos lined up properly. Okay, so that's that. And then the 20 goes over here. Sometimes the 20, what do I got there? It's a big fuzzy. Sometimes the number is up right above the light, and sometimes it's down below. And you know, it's just another reason why you have to have the, I think you got to have the picture right there. Okay, so I also found another problem, and I'm gonna do a quick look. And I didn't see this before. Do you see the Gamestop logo? It's white. The word game is white. It's black. See that? Alright. So I'm going to look in my decals again. See if I can find a black Gamestop. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to bore you with showing you my decals, but I may have a difficult time finding one like that, because the ones I have are resers, and yeah, you know what? I don't have it. That stinks. Well, it's just going to have to be white, I guess. I don't see it. I don't see. I mean, I have that, but that's way too big, as you can tell. I don't have the rear Gamestop, or a small Gamestop. Let me think for a second. Where would I have one? Yeah, I just don't think I have one, unfortunately. I'm trying to go through all this work and trying to get the diecast to be as close to the actual one on the race car that I don't have it. That stinks. I just don't have it. Well, that's a shortcoming. It's going to have to be what it is. I don't believe I have another decal set for this car, or another decal set of these Gamestop cars that I might be able to lift one out of. I'm striking out here, folks. Yeah, I'm done struck out. Well, sometimes you just gotta settle, and we're gonna have to settle this time. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it's not going to be what I had hoped. So it's going to be like that. Now we move to the pound 4. It's going to have to bend a little bit over the... Oh, I can get that a little bit higher maybe. Yeah, it's not... Definitely to the side. My problem is it's not bending down. Because these are my decals, which are not even close to the quality of Pattos decals. So I'm going to have to work to get that to bend. Over this ridge. This is a struggle. I don't know if that's going to work at all. This is going to have to move up as high as it can go. And that's going to have to be right there. This paper is not as flexible as the other paper that I get from Pattos. Well, you know, when you're building this stuff, sometimes it works out like this. Not the way you wanted it to. So I'm going to keep messing with this and trying to get it to lay. And in the meantime, I'm going to drop this decal on the front. And I won't say I've wasted your time today, but I've definitely spent more time on this video than I would have liked, looking at some of the decals that should be on this car that aren't. So here, trying to get this on the hood to line up. And pull it down just a little bit. Get the Evolve off the cowl. Make sure it's centered. And get the water out. Well, I hope you guys are doing well. Gonna keep working this Evolve car. But you can see this is some of the struggles you run into. And it's hard for me. But this car's just not going to be as close to what's on the track as I would like it to be. So you guys have a blessed day, and we'll show you the end product later.